I want to open up some dialogue about what's going on in America and what is the healthiest solution to solve some of these problems that we're facing right now. So what I want to talk about first is the Dakota Access Pipeline, because this is very important. What we're seeing is a corporation that's taken control of the military, the National Guard, and the state police as a resource to stop a peaceful protest against a pipeline that threatens the water of 10 states. I think that they're able to do this because I think that America is really desperate for oil right now. This is a gleaming example of that. The fact that we are building a $3.9 billion pipeline to get fracked oil across America. So it's actually a blessing in disguise that it went through the Native American territory and that they were shady about it and they didn't tell them about it. And this rose awareness, because otherwise Americans are very ignorant about this. We're not aware of the problems revolving around oil because our whole society goes around oil. And we've been doing this for many decades, occupying other territories, pushing the community out, and we disguise it. You know, we have this ongoing war on terrorism.
For President Obama, it's the war on terrorism 2.0. Mr. Obama warned this new fight won't be over soon.
Not so many people die from terrorism as, you know, the danger of climate change.
CO2 emissions from fossil fuels, which constitute 85% of our energy use, must be reduced to zero by 2100. If we pump much more of it into the atmosphere, we're going to alter the climate, catastrophically.
Right now, the polar axis is shifting, so literally, we're going to be experiencing crazy, violent climate change in the next coming years, in the next coming decades. And we're already being affected with it. We're having extremely hot summers.
This is one of the worst heat waves in recorded history.
And that's just the start of it. We're gonna have more storms. We've dramatically decreased our amount of animals that are on this planet, okay? And this isn't something we could just pretend like it doesn't happen. They didn't even talk about it in the election debates. They mentioned Russia over 150 times.
So I actually think the most important question of this evening, Chris, is finally, will Donald Trump admit and condemn that the Russians are doing this?
I don't care about these political feuds that they have, that Hillary cares about, that Donald cares about, that elitists care about. I care about wages. I care about equal pay and equal rights. I care about the fact that police are killing people in the streets in broad daylight every single day. I care about that the military is being used on peaceful protesters that are defending water and the Constitution. They're defending the Constitution. This pipeline is unconstitutional. So if you care about the Constitution, you care about this.
We're going to lift moratoriums on energy production in federal areas. We're going to revoke policies that impose unwarranted restrictions on new drilling technologies.
Donald Trump has a direct stake in this pipeline. And if he was to be president, what's going to happen to these protesters?
Yeah, get him the hell out of here, will you please?
Hillary represents a lot of the corruption in our politics, but Donald Trump represents a very sick, deranged side of America, a very misinformed side of America that, you know, these people, they have a reason to be angry, and they are very angry, and they have a reason to not trust Hillary Clinton. But they're throwing all that rage and emotion into a demagogue, you know, like into this guy who does not represent their interests, who literally has a direct stake in the pipeline. On the other hand, you have somebody who played a big part in rigging an election this year. There's a lot of evidence that points that they really rigged this election. They stopped the American people who funded one presidential candidate's campaign fully. That's never happened in American history. We gave Bernie Sanders $210 million, and unfortunately we didn't have as much as the businesses behind Hillary Clinton. And when you spend that much money, they're gonna want something in return. So neither of these candidates represent our interests as people. Me personally, I'm going to be voting for Jill Stein.
Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein joined protesters who are attempting to stop construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. She used spray paint to write, "I approve this message."
I encourage anybody to vote for Jill Stein because we want independents to get to 5% in this election. It's very important that the American people realize that there is a possibility to increase the party system. We don't need to funnel them out, because that's why we're in this situation right now. We funneled our options because we believed, we drank the Kool-Aid, and we believed that we only have 2 options and we have to funnel it down like it's a reality TV show. Okay? It's part of our culture, it's part of what we were taught, but we gotta get smart. Okay? We gotta realize that that's not the way to do this in future generations and future elections. We need to organize, we need to remain calm and decide what we can do as a people to move forward and solve some of these problems in a non-violent way. First thing, we need to get this motherfucker Donald Trump out of our sights, okay, so that he cannot be a danger to us. Next, we need to hold Hillary accountable, and I want us to raise awareness about what's going on in North Dakota, because we have to realize that if we let them build this pipeline, not only are we putting 10 states in jeopardy, not only are we increasing our carbon footprint, we are literally giving up our rights and allowing America to continue to become a police state. If you care about your country, you care about this. If you are a patriot, you care about this. Don't ignore it.
We have every right. This is a sovereign nation right here. This is sovereign people's land right here. So.
It's dangerous to ignore things like this.